Welcome to another edition of Two Babies in a Business, the podcast where, I'm saying I just get to spend some time with my friends because we all have those busy mom schedules. And so there's nothing like being able to sit and talk about mom life together. Today, my special guest is Amanda Bentley, and we've gotten to know each other just this year. Our kids go to school together, and I feel like when you find a mom who's living the same entrepreneurial, crazy mom life that you are, you automatically have a bond. So thanks for coming, Amanda.
Well,
And
thanks for having me.
why don't you tell everyone, you have many things that you're up to, but why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you? What are you up to? What's that life look like over there?
It's a little crazy. It's a little hectic. Well, my name's Amanda Bentley. I have two kids, a 7-year-old named Victoria and a 4-year-old named Preston. I also have a little dog running around right now who's it's like he knew we were recording and he
It's
almost wants
true.
to jump in my lap right now. It's so cute. I have an online business focusing on quality PJs for kids and accessories, kind of like a whole sleepover essentials that I started, and I'm kind of working on getting that kind of off the ground and going. And other than that, I'm actually studying for my real estate course. So I've already finished my first course. Now I'm doing my second course, and I kind of got that going on along with, actively being involved in the kids' school and a bunch of other things that us moms tend to take on. And yeah, having fun with the list of things to do every day.
It's true. Before we hit record, we were talking about all the things that need to get done. I liked our conversation around, when mom gets sick, then, that's the foundation is done. So, you're over there drinking your
Oh my
ginger
God.
concoction.
Ginger, garlic, turmeric, every it's it's pretty potent. It tastes pretty good. There's some cinnamon in there too, but yeah, between that and that special, ginger, turmeric, garlic juice I make in the morning, like knock on wood, I better not get sick because if the mom ship goes down, yeah, it's tough. It's funny when we were first talking about this and like juggling the idea of like juggling juveniles and businesses and family life and friends and everything. I pictured like us moms here like in the center and then like, birthday parties, family events, businesses, and then like all these other bubbles of things coming up in these relationships that you develop with your friends and keeping them and your kids' friendships and birthday parties and all the responsibilities that moms have. And it just it sort of like all had these little bubbles come. And then like I saw like almost like the moms getting like you don't see them anymore because
Yeah.
they're helping everyone else in life. And like that's where I kind of thought about like, the mom self-care and
Yeah.
how like it's really important because we don't want that mom ship to go down like and get sick, but we also don't want mom to lose herself and lose her identity.
Yeah.
So
And it's so easy. I feel like when I first had the boys, I like really did lose my identity for a long time. I feel like you wrap yourself up in, like, I obviously had my business and I categorize that as my time, and it's like, okay, working on client strategies and trying to pay the bills is not really my time. But you tell yourself that, and okay, this is for me, and I'm keeping my head in the game. And I think it was a few years ago where, I think for everyone, really, COVID became a bit of a reset. But for me, it was like, hang on a second, when is me time? And I think even recently for me, it's like, what what do I want to do? And like, why did I start doing what I'm doing now? And like trying to just get back to that like really basic, simple thing that made that set me on fire, that made me excited, that, yeah,
because it really is like hitting a reset button.
yeah,
Like if I know you do the spin classes, right? So
yeah,
that's like awesome way for you to hit your reset button. And you're 100% right. When COVID came, like I used to be a horse trainer and riding instructor, and I love that because I love teaching. I love teaching kids. I love teaching adults. I love working with the horses. It was like a huge passion of mine. And then kids came along, and that was a lot harder to do with kids. And then COVID came, and that made it even more difficult. Like I remember one of my last lessons I gave right at the start of COVID. And luckily I was at a barn that is close to where I live, which in Springbank, which was wonderful because most barns around here you have to drive
Yeah.
quite a distance. And I remember having Preston at 6 months old in the carrier while I'm standing in the middle of the arena giving my lessons. And he was like a trooper. Like it was super cute. He loved being around the horses. I think Victoria must have been babysat by my parents, or she might have been there because I usually also brought the kids.
Nice.
And he would have fun just being in the barn, playing in the sand, playing with the horses. But I remember I had to give that up. And then when COVID hit, I was like stuck at home.
Yeah.
And my husband at the time, and we're now divorced, but my husband at the time worked a ton.
Yeah.
So he wasn't around in the house. So it was basically me, a 3-year old, and a 6-month old. And talk about trying to find moments of self love and time. And frankly, it sometimes is just being able to take a shower for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that would feel amazing. But I mean, like, as you know, I got into the online dancing, which was like a huge healing thing for me, and it really helped me through that time.
Yeah.
And had I not had that, I actually don't think I would have like had the confidence to kind of get to where I am,
Yeah.
to be able to start my own business. Like, so, and then when I came to even thinking about what to start, because I wanted to have something of my own, but I wanted to have something I believe in. And I'm like, well, I love my kids more than anything. And I really like getting, things for them that, are tried, tested, true, that they can wear, they can play in, they can, be kids in. And I actually found these PJs through my mom. And my mom was the one who originally first gifted them to the kids. And I remember going, oh my gosh, these are so soft and stretchy and nice. And the kids ended up wearing them over and over and over again. And I'd wash the living daylights out of them. And so when it came to like, okay, what's something that my kids have that I love? And it were these, and they happened to be made by a multi-generational family in LA.
Hmm.
So I contacted them. I'm like, well, what do I got to lose? I'm going to contact them and see if they would be open to me carrying them in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And so they loved the idea. And that's why I started bringing them. And then I thought, beyond that, I'm like, why don't we do this whole little like sleepovers essentials?
Yeah.
So like I have some toys, I have some sleepover bags, and make it kind of fun and kid centric. And
Yeah.
then and then I decided to take on some adult ones too, because I wanted to feel what they feel like, because my kids love them so much. And other moms have asked. So I'm like, well, I'll get some ladies ones too. So that's sort of kind of how, in a very short story, how that happened.
Yeah.
But
I mean, take me through that piece of, so I feel like it's common. Like we're in this, I'm gonna say rut, or this, mom life. And, you made a decision to, pursue the dancing piece. I'm gonna do something for myself that led to like, how did you make time for that? What was the conscious thing that clicked for you that was like, okay, I need this?
well, it's funny. I think going through kind of having to shut down my writing business and where my marriage was at the time and COVID and having to still take care of a baby and a toddler, I was finding like I was getting very down,
Yeah.
and it was becoming all a little overwhelming. And I don't think I realized how much of myself I was losing.
Yeah.
And there wasn't, especially having to lose the horses and the horse business, that was a huge part of me.
Yeah.
So having to kind of put that off to the side was a big thing. But I've always loved dance.
Right.
And it's always been something that's been in me, and I've wanted to do more and that sort of thing. And I'm a huge fan of Dancing with the Stars. It's
Hmm.
an awesome, awesome show. It's happy, there's music, there's great stories, and is actually, again, ironically, my mom was the one that originally one day pre-COVID, like a couple years before this, was like, Amanda, this is a great show. It's fun, it's happy. You love dancing. Why don't you take a look? And I'm like, sure. So I ended up watching it one night, and there were a couple pros on there. Like, they're all amazing, but there are a couple pros on there I just automatically kind of connected with, and I liked the way they dance. I liked the way they taught from what I saw in the videos. And one of them was actually Gleb Savchenko. And so I followed him on Instagram. And when COVID started, the studio he was in is actually his now ex-wife and him had a studio together. And they were advertising online dance, like an online dance class over Zoom. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I felt like the little bit left of me, like that had that confidence and courage
Yeah.
to try something new. First of all, I was like, okay, hang on, how do I do this? Okay, I got the computer, but I've got the kids, like one's crawling, one's running around. How am I going to put the computer up and do this Zoom class, and where am I going to do it? So I ended up putting it on my dining room table and having it shine towards my kitchen. So I literally learned how to dance in my kitchen over Zoom. But first of all, like the first lesson that we had, I didn't think he'd actually like see all us people. I thought, oh, it's probably a Zoom class, like it's maybe a recording or something like that. I didn't think it was actually going to be like live. And I'm just in like Lululemon pants and top, just like really casual, right? And it turns out he went through, I think there was only 20 of us, and he went through and said hi to every one of us over Zoom. And so it was like, oh, okay, this is real. Like this, I thought maybe I'd be somewhere in the background and just like learning how to dance, but like it was a small, 20 people, around 20 people from anywhere from Chicago, California. There are a couple people overseas. There's another, but they're all over North America.
Cool.
And what had happened is we ended up developing this online dance group. And we would have our dance 2 to 3 times a week. And it was 45 minutes, couple days a week, where mom got to have her little bit of mom time and connecting with other adults. Now, the funny thing on my end, and there's one other mom that also had young kids, is we would laugh because the amount of things we needed to do to get prepared to even have our lesson was crazy. Like I have videos on my Instagram of putting the playpen behind where I'm dancing. And I'm like, you get your iPad time, here's your iPad time, here's your snacks. Because like I'd let them run free, but then like, their little things happen. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll just put them in the big playpen I have. So I had them in the playpen, there's snacks, there's whatever. And I remember one video, I was trying to learn this cha-cha step, and Victoria kept going, Mom, I need a snack. I'm like, oh, I can't concentrate. I just gave you a whole bunch of snacks. And it's so funny now that I look back at it and I look at these videos and there's like such good memories. I've also one video where Victoria was walking around in front and I'm like concentrating on what Gleb's trying to teach us. And all of a sudden you see her like cross by the screen and she's like making like these hilarious faces. And I didn't know it until after the fact. And I forgot to mention, I got to a point where, like, at the beginning of the lessons, I was so down on myself. You get to a point where I'm like, your self confidence is down. I didn't enjoy looking in a mirror
Yeah.
or anything like that. And I was starting to like myself again. He was teaching us how to move our bodies through dance. So I was gaining a lot more body awareness. So I started videoing myself. And I had like a little Pivo system that I would attach my phone to.
Yeah.
And so that's where like Victoria would know, oh, mommy's, she's recording her dance lesson. So she would like, run through and make a little funny face. Or I remember at one point I had the playpen out of view and like I'm keeping track of like what's going on in the lesson. And I look over and Preston's trying to climb out and I'm like, so I look back at the video and all you see is me like there. And then all of a sudden, boom, like full on like running to catch him to make sure he doesn't hurt himself. And he ended up being fine. But it's funny, like just to get that 45 minutes, there was like an hour of prep beforehand. And then like making sure the kids are taken care of and trying to explain to the kids, like, please, like, mommy just needs this just a little bit of time, just 45 minutes. But yeah, like it was such an amazing experience. And, Gleb is such a remarkable teacher and such a nice person. And he really was there for us at a time that was quite isolating, especially, for, what we were going through.
Yeah. No, I love your story because you just are that inspirational beacon of like, just do it. Right? Like, I think that a lot of moms have that and like you even talked about that self-confidence and whether that's about internal or external or both. I think we get into these ruts of, I don't know, I can't do that, or oh no, maybe next time. But you just went for it. You saw the online course. You went, all right, we'll figure it out. You didn't even really know what you were getting yourself into, and all of a sudden
Right.
you're into it 100%. And I feel like the same way about your business. It's like you needed something for yourself. What am I passionate about? Obviously, my kids. You reached out, you sent the email, and you know, I think sometimes we look at our own lives and we go, like me, like, okay, quit the job, started the agency. And yeah, that's just part of my story and what I did. But like, those are the moments that, like, all of a sudden we took our lives into our own hands and started writing our own story.
Absolutely. And I honestly think part of the reason I was able to do that is Gleb was so nice and real and kind to everyone that he made an environment that was where you felt comfortable, which is surprising because you're looking at this celebrity on TV,
Right.
and he's right there in front of you, seeing you like through the camera. And the one thing that's interesting is like we had a wide range of ladies from I think in their 30s, and I think all the way up to their 60s in different fitness levels, different capabilities, and it didn't matter. He made sure he gave everyone like positivity. And it's like the main thing for him is he was like he wanted everyone to try no matter what. He didn't want you to go beyond and hurt yourself or anything like that. But he would modify things for certain people that couldn't do things. But he made it very simple to understand and to learn. And I think that's where like, because I'll be honest, at first I was like, oh my gosh, so if we're dancing, because he would normally dance looking away from you. So it would almost be like you're behind him. So you can watch the steps. But when he would turn around to look at you, that's where it was like it really made you kind of get out of it made some people, oh my gosh, I'm being watched, I don't know if I can do this, but he really encouraged, no, 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 it doesn't matter, it's the try. I want you to try and do it because he kept saying, this is all for you guys, this is for you. And I think having been, I don't want to say pushed, but encouraged to sort of like open up and
Yeah.
open up to the experience, open up to the what you're learning really helped with my confidence. So like when it comes to like calling people now and being like, hey, I love your product, I'd love to carry it. Like I didn't have any like yeah, I didn't feel self-conscious about that. I was like, yeah, what do I got to lose? It's sort of like he really kind of brought people up and really gave a great positive vibe.
I love that. I mean, I think too, it's that almost that reassurance that you had 20 other people in that class, like you said, all over from all over the place, all different stuff happening in their lives, all different abilities. You all came together. And I think it's true. Like, once you can start putting yourself out there in one thing, it's interesting how it just dominoes, right, in other aspects of your life and other pieces of that. I think, you know, um, thinking about self-care, I feel like it ebbs and flows. I feel like there are seasons in a mom's life where it's harder. I think
Yeah.
there are times in a business owner's life where it's harder too. but making sure you have that time in your schedule to do it, for me, is essential. I need that time blocked off. No one else can book over. I heard really good advice once around, you never cancel meetings with important people. Like if there's something in your calendar and it's, okay, I got this meeting with Amanda. She's an important person. I can't miss it. I've got to be ready for that meeting. But we always cancel time on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, aren't you the most important person in your life? And for me, it was just this light bulb moment going like, oh yeah, I guess I shouldn't just work through that time that I had booked to go to spin, or, oh, I guess I should actually get out for that walk. And we need to be our own biggest advocates, right? Like,
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, on the other hand of it, like I know what that feels like too, like when you haven't been giving yourself like prioritizing time for yourself. And it's amazing how like personally for me, I just feel like things get a little bit more like I end up getting shorter, maybe a little bit more upset, a little bit more sharp with things. And it's like, oh, there's my indicators. Like I need to go do something active. Because for me, and I think you're probably the same too, like I need like to do exercise,
yeah,
something physical, something workout, even if it's a walk, just something where it involves movement. And that's actually something we talked a lot about in our dance lessons. It's just how like connecting with your body is so important, like through movement and music. Like that was the other thing. It's amazing how like you can change a vibe, I find,
yeah,
by like turning on the music. And sometimes if I am getting like a little cranky or short tempered or stressed or anything, I'll sometimes just be like, I need some music. Like, let's put on the music. Maybe I'll dance in the kitchen. I don't know. Like, just
yeah,
like change the vibe. And it really seems to help.
it's true. So, what are you doing these days to make sure that self-care is still prioritized for you? Because you're busy. I see those emails as parent rep in the classroom. I see those text messages and your realtor
Oh,
course, and you're doing all the things over there. So when is Amanda time?
it's funny. I've actually got like, I make lists daily because if I don't make a list, I like something's going to get forgotten.
Yeah.
And since even though I don't have horses anymore, I still have very good friends and old clients that do. And my best friend and her husband, Clay and Jen Webster, actually own a training facility out in Mosley.
Okay.
So it's quite funny. But and all you horse people out there, this might make sense to you. But like I find like when I haven't seen the horses in a while and when like gone to visit them, I start like getting cranky. So I usually end up like making a time to go visit them. And there's nothing better than like the barn smell, like
Yeah.
the smell of horses, like in the barn. So it's kind of a running joke. Like when I come and if I have the kids with me and Adrian with me, it's like as soon as mom gets in the barn, just shh, like give me a minute. Because I just need to, I miss the horses so
Yeah.
much. So I find like my reset is when I can go out there and like see them or like practice any of my old dance stuff, reconnect with my dance friends. And then like simply sometimes it's just going for a walk.
Yeah.
Like going for a walk. We got some exercise equipment downstairs, so I'll do that. But I find like the more I can get outside before it gets really cold here,
Yeah.
like the better. And I still want to go do another couple spin classes with you because I love the music there. Like not only was the spin class good and the energy's awesome, but like the kind of feels like you're in a bit of a nightclub, but it's a workout. So it's great.
That's true. Yeah, it's fun. I think it's, to your point about the horses, I always try to like get a spin class in where it's like the theme of they're playing your favorite, music or genre, right? Like it's just those things that I love that your word reset, those things that just spark something in you and almost like ground you back to, okay, I was this person at the club 20 years ago, right? And okay, now I can dance to it in my spin class or in my kitchen, or I think it's so important.
Well, I think when we went to that one spin class too, we kind of joked about, because I'm like, I can't do I wouldn't even think about going to a club anymore, but like this would be my version of going to a club.
You're
It'd
in
be like
early,
great music, go work out, and then okay, we're done.
and you can still be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Exactly. In case your kids get up in the middle of the night and need you.
It's true. Okay, I consider you, one of the experts on the balancing the Juggling Juveniles Act. So I have a question about, we are in an era where I think women are getting, portrayed maybe a little bit more realistically in the media. We're in the era of the Barbie movie and the Eras tour and female all over the place. But I'm curious your opinion. Do you think that, women are getting a fair shake in kind of pop culture, that representation? Is it providing more pressure on us, less pressure? What's your take?
Oh, that's a tough one, because I find like I find the most relatable moms, like when I'm going through Instagram and I'm seeing these reels,
Yeah.
are the ones that are like, you can tell it's like real. Like they got some clutter in the background, like there's some extra noise, like their hair is like
Yeah.
all over the place. And I find those women absolutely beautiful and relatable, because like nothing's better than sometimes when you're going through these reels and you see one, and I'll end up sending it to you and a couple other moms, because I'm like, oh yeah, like this one's relatable to all the people I'm sending it to right now. But then I know it's also hard on the other end, because I'm starting to get better at doing videos. And it's like, people are recommending like doing like these short little videos and stuff. And but does it look okay? Like in the background? And does this like, I, I, I don't know. It's hard, because like, I love the moms that are more relatable to see, but I can see like pop culture or whatever making it
Yeah.
maybe a bit of pressure for people. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely like the moms that keep it real, because it gives me a giggle and goes like, oh yeah, that kind of happened to me the other day.
It's true. I feel like, it's a nice time to be a mom because even if you don't have that mom group, you have all these moms online that are doing a great job at showing what life is like and being
Yeah.
real about it. It's true. I mean, you still have the Kim Kardashian mom too that, I saw a reel with her and her daughter today and I'm going like, wow, like how do you both look so good?
Right? Oh,
Um,
I know. We having the LA connections that we do too. Yeah, I've quite often, those like 6 degrees of separation, how you can
yeah.
be kind of like, there's some people that like, I think I know through some people, and I look and I go, how do they do that? Are they like, is that real or are they filtered? Like I can't tell. Like, but that's amazing if they're not. But like, but at the same time, then it's like, but I can't really relate to that, because like yeah.
You're here.
So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, then you see those reels of those moms that, oh my gosh, there's some funny stuff out there these days that just, it's kind of nice when you see something like a funny reel, and it's like something that's happened to you and the kids before, and then it kind of makes you feel like, oh phew, I'm not the only one.
It's true. Yeah, there's definitely there's you know, it's a community, right? Like I feel like there's no, the moms of the past that had to put on the brave face and smile and make sure everyone was neat. It's like we're not hiding anymore. We
But
knew
like,
how many tears were behind that fancy puffy dress we had to wear when we were 7. It's like we know how hard that
right?
was.
Oh, and tell me, I just did that photo shoot with the kids last week, right? And I have a lot of behind the scenes videos, and portions of them are great, and portions of them are a little tense, because it's a lot to ask the kids like to do a long photo shoot and stuff. So I have some funny content for me to keep,
There's your
but
relatable mom content.
the relatable mom comment, yeah, where I'm like, oh, I want this to turn out. Can you please just for 2 minutes, please? Oh, but it kind of reminds me, like last night I sent out that reel. I could not stop laughing. It was that Christmas reel of how moms feel around Christmas time. And it had a picture of that person like slipping on the ice.
Right.
And it was like, and then it was like school stuff, family stuff, this like just all those little blurbs. And I'm like, it's kind of how I feel right now.
True. It's true, right? Yeah. Okay, Amanda, what's your advice for moms? If there's a mom out there who's going, oh, I have to get back to myself, what would you tell her?
Oh, I'd find something and think about something that you're actually passionate about and like take the courage to try something new.
Cool.
Because like, yes, dancing I had always loved, but this whole like that online dancing thing was like I had to be brave to take that step to do that. And I encourage anyone, if there's something you've always been curious about trying, like an activity, um, or going to an event maybe that you've never done or been curious about, to just find that courage within
Yeah,
and give it a try, because you never know. And like, what do you got to lose? Like, you might end up going, oh, I have like a little hidden talent here I didn't know about. And it whatever it is, like even putting it out there and making that step would probably make you feel really good about yourself.
100% I agree. I feel like it's those things that you're most nervous to do are probably the ones that are going to turn out to be the best things.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even get to tell you. So fast forward, I'll make it short, but I ended up doing a video in person with Gleb. So
Good.
kind of like a Dancing with the Stars experience. And it was sort of a healing thing. He helped me kind of get help me get over kind of what I was going through with my marriage breaking up.
Yeah.
But talk about having to work super hard. Like that was we rehearsed for 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. And to actually do a video at the end of it, I really had to dig down deep at times and find the courage within to, because there's a certain amount of, I don't want to say acting, but like you have to
Yeah.
really get into the part, right?
Totally.
Um, and so like there were moments where I had my coach and mentor and friend Gleb really pushing me, encouraging me, I'll say, not pushing, but encouraging me to dig down deep and like get that emotion out. And that was like, it was so inspiring that at the end of that shoot, I got quite emotional. It's almost like a release.
Yeah.
But yeah, finding that courage within to do those things that you maybe never thought you could do.
It's true. I thought the same thing when I took a mountain bike course. It was 2 summers ago. I did one this past summer too. And the instructor said, okay, we're at the top of this hill and now you're going down. And I thought, okay, we're digging deep. But you know what? It's so nice now to be like, okay, kids, we're gonna go on this trail and I have the confidence to do it. And to your point, I was so nervous to do it. And you get there and you look around and it's 8 other women in the same spot as you, right? And they just want to be able to keep up with their kids. And this is their time for the week. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm okay. Right? Like I think we think in our heads, oh, it's going to be all these professionals, or oh, I'm not going to fit in. And it's like we're all the same, folks. We're all the same.
Exactly. And we're all there to help and encourage each other.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
And
Yeah,
I bet you,
every
right?
mom that went down that hill, we all went, yeah, you did it.
And I bet you the boys are like, yeah, that's my mom,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah. Aw. Okay,
yeah,
well, thank you, Amanda. I loved hearing your story. I know it's going to inspire people. I feel like, the slogan will steal it from Nike. Just do it. Do it. But thank you. Thank you for coming on. And I feel like I'll see you in the school pickup line soon.
absolutely. And like, yeah, 20 minutes.
Of
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
course. Thanks for joining me, Christina Pilarski, for another fantastic episode of Two Babies in a Business. I hope that you'll follow along, with me on my journey as a mom on Instagram, 2 babies in a business. And I hope that you'll sign up for our newsletter. You can find the link in the show notes or on my Instagram. And finally, if you're a mom with a story to share, I want to hear from you. Please reach out to me, and I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you.